Broadcasting live from the Albay PIO News Center, providing you the most exclusive news update from all over the province. This is News at 12. In the local scene, the Department of Agriculture Regional Field Office 5 has launched Gulayan projects and mass distribution of agricultural interventions under the High Value Crops Development Program. This initiative aims to bolster local food production, promote nutritional security, and support farmers as cooperatives and associations throughout the province. The Department of Agriculture distributed agricultural inputs to public elementary and secondary schools, helping these schools establish and maintain school gardens. Various farmers as cooperatives and associations are receiving essential inputs to enhance their production of high-value crops. Mary Grace Rodriguez, OIC Regional Technical Director for Operations, reaffirmed the Department of Agriculture's commitment to fostering local production and ensuring food security in the province. The Gulayan projects represent a collaborative effort involving the Department of Agriculture, the Albay Provincial Agricultural Office, and the Department of Education. In other story, the Albay Veterinary Office will continue to enforce strict border measures despite the absence of livestock disease cases in Albay. Provincial Veterinarian Dr. Pancho Armelia confirmed this during an orientation for Bicol University College of Agriculture and Forestry students regarding the programs, projects, and activities of the office. According to Melia, there are no active cases of Q fever, African swine fever, or bird flu in the province. Despite the lack of cases, the official emphasized the initiative of the Animal Health and Regulatory Division in preventing emerging livestock diseases by monitoring borders, checking shipment or shipping permits, and verifying the veterinary health certificates of incoming swine. The office is working on enhancing swine production due to the ongoing supply shortage caused by African swine fever in the province. In the national scene, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. will meet with the economic team to evaluate the potential impacts of escalating conflict in the Middle East. Presidential Communications and Undersecretary and Palace Press Officer Claire Castro said the meeting will focus on contingency plans amid growing concerns over a possible energy crisis due to the tensions in the oil-rich region. The development comes as worries increase over disruptions in the global oil market following intensified conflict between Israel and Iran. Tensions escalated after the United States airstrikes on Iranian nuclear sites prompted strong retaliation threats from Tehran. The ongoing conflict poses a serious risk to the domestic fuel supply and transportation costs, as the Middle East is a key source of the Philippines' oil imports. In response, Castro said the Philippine government is preparing for a possible energy crisis and has allocated 2.5 billion pesos for the fuel subsidy program. In other story, the Department of Budget and Management approved the creation of additional 4,000 teaching positions as part of the second batch of the Department of Education's School Personnel Program for 2025. There are 1,658 slots for kindergarten and elementary, 391 for junior high school, and 1,951 for senior high school for the 2025-2026 school year. The Department of Budget and Management announced these new teaching positions after approving an initial 16,000 teaching slots last month. The DBM Secretary Amina Pangandaman stated that DepEd's request for a larger teaching or teacher workforce has been fulfilled. The new positions support President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s goal to improve the learning conditions for Filipino students. In April, the DBM also approved 10,000 non-teaching positions to help reduce administrative work for teachers. In other news, the Department of Budget and Management and the Bases Conversion and the Development Authority are working together to build a dormitory and dining hall for student athletes at the National Academy for Sports in New Clark City, Tarlac. During the Academy's 5th anniversary celebration, Budget Secretary Amina Pangandaman stated that the project is part of the President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s commitment to developing world-class Filipino athletes. The new facility will house up to 400 students or student athletes in quad-sharing rooms with separate male and female wings. It will include a dining hall, kitchen, recreational rooms, laundry area, and administrative offices, all aimed at creating a safe, comfortable, and supportive environment for the young athletes. The project is scheduled to initiate its procurement process this August 2025, with a 3-month public bidding period, and construction is planned to begin in January 2026. And in the news outside the country, U.S. President Donald Trump said Iran and Israel have agreed to a staggered ceasefire, which is described as bringing out an official end to the conflict. However, there was no comment to deny nor confirm both countries. As outlined by Trump, the ceasefire would be a phased 24-hour process beginning on Tuesday. Iran would unilaterally halt all operations, while Israel would follow suit 12 hours later. Trump's announcement came just hours after Iran launched strikes against an American military base in Qatar, which it described as weak retaliation for U.S. strikes over the weekend against Iranian nuclear sites. Iran and Israel have exchanged wave after wave of airstrikes since Israel launched a major military offensive on June 13. And finally, in the news outside the country, the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres condemned Iran's missile attacks on a U.S. military base in Qatar. The Secretary General urged all member states to uphold their obligations under UN Charter and other rules of international law. Iran launched a barrage of missiles at the U.S. military in Qatar, marking a dramatic escalation in tensions following the U.S. targeting of 3 Iranian nuclear sites in Iran over the weekend. The official IRNA news agency also reported that simultaneous missile attacks had been launched towards other U.S. bases in Iraq without providing further details. And that's all for the news at 12, June 25, 2025. We'll be back tomorrow for more news updates. And thanks to our news writer, LJ Lorejo and Erica Dumlao. And on the technical side, Chad Bobbis. Of course, our Provincial Information Officer, Mary Luduca Castillo, and under the supervision of our Governor, Baby Glenda Ongbungao. I am Greg Hallare. Thank you for subscribing.